Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing a layout for the Scrap 5 challenge as well as Christie's beautiful live 30 days of sketches, and these are 31 exclusive sketches. The sketch I'm going to be using today is by Rachel Usher, which I will share with you guys in just a few minutes. Now, one of the items on our list today for the Scrap 5 challenge is to use a themed collection, but not in the theme that it was intended for. So I went ahead and I grabbed this paper pad. I was sitting really close to my desk. This is a Christmas paper pad. It's from Vicki Boutin. It's from her newest Christmas collection. And I also shared this on my channel here. If you have not already seen it, I did an unboxing for it. It's a beautiful, beautiful collection, as you can see by me flipping through here. And you can see there's a lot of pattern papers here that can definitely be used for themes other than Christmas. So right now I'm just flipping through the paper pad. You do get 2 of each designs. And I'm gonna flip through, and you'll see I do grab a lot of the red pattern papers, and I do try to add in other colors as well, such as that teal color that I grabbed already. You can see I was also checking out the yellow, but it was just a bit too bright, and it would have actually been between the teal and the yellow, not together. So for now, I'm just sticking with the teal with the red. And the red, I think I gravitated to because of those red hearts on my photo. So I'm just going to continue flipping here. I also grabbed this this cut apart here because one of the items on the Scrap 5 challenge is to use a number in our title. Now I will go ahead and leave information on Christie's beautiful live 30 days of sketches down in my description box. And I will also leave the links for everyone participating today on the Scrap 5 challenge down in my description box as well. I really, really love that star pattern paper there, but I actually did not use it. It was a bit too busy for my background. And it would just be a bit too much, and my photo I felt will not pop enough. So here I'm grabbing this black and white, which is a neutral for me, and I decided on this yellow pattern paper here, and I loved it a lot better than the teal, so I'm gonna go with that one. Loving the strips on this side of the pattern paper, and once you see the sketch that I'm using from Christie's beautiful live hop, you will know why I was checking it out. But I decided, nah, I'm gonna just stick with the pattern papers I chose. We have some more cut aparts here, and I knew I needed somewhere to add some journaling, so I'm gonna grab, I believe, 2 of these as options for when I'm ready to add my journaling. I'm loving that pattern paper there also with that craft. It just gave a little variation to the reds that I'm already adding onto the layout. So there you can see popped in the corner would be one of the other items on the list, which is to use a sketch, and that is the sketch I'm using from Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. This one is by Rachel Usher. And I will go ahead and, like I said before, add all of the information for this hop down in my description box. So the first thing I'm going to do is ink the edge of my pattern paper. Now, one of the items on the list is to use a pattern paper as our background. And there you can see I'm using that red pattern paper inked with some black Soot Distress ink. Now on this sketch, you can see lots of strips, and there's a lot of different colors there as well as patterns. I decided just to stick with, I believe, 4 different designs on my background. I am gonna cut, I think I actually used 5 strips altogether, and I'm cutting them about 2 inches wide. So right now they are 2 by 12. I'm also going to cut 2 strips from the black and white plaid here as well. So let's see, so far I have my pattern paper background. I am using a sketch. That's 2 items from our list, and I'm also using a themed collection, and not for the theme that it's intended for. So I'm just playing around with my strips and looking at this now. I kind of like how this looks. This is not the design I went with, the layout I went with, but let me know in the comments below what you think of option number 1, where I have the black and white in the background, and I use the yellow to make that sort of a V-shaped pattern paper on the front there, on the top of the strips. Let me know what you think of this design. Looking at it now, I really like how it looked, but at the time I felt my photo wasn't standing out enough. So you're gonna see me just pull it apart and rearrange, adding the yellow instead on the background. And you can see the sketch here. I stuck a lot to the overall design, but I did change a few things around, such as how many photos were used, and you'll see I changed around the title as well. Now I'm removing about a 1/2 inch here off the bottom of my strips because I want to have a border go all the way around my strips. I'm gonna go ahead and do a technique now, which is one of the items on our Scrap 5 challenge list. And the technique is to go ahead and distress my strips. At first I thought I was gonna tear them, but these strips are very, very narrow. They're just 2 inches across, so I figured I'd go ahead and distress them instead. So I'm using my Tim Holtz distress tool right now, just going back and forth, giving it a really subtle distress look, which actually makes it loosens up that pattern paper there on the edge, so it makes this part of the distressing very easy to do now. And here I'm just ripping the pattern paper slightly, just a little tiny bit, and curling it towards me. So you can see it's not very harsh, it's a very, very subtle effect. I absolutely love how these strips look. Now I don't distress all of them. I will distress the 3, let's see, these 3, and also the black and white. So now I'm using the center of my mat to go ahead and start adding in 5 strips on the background there. Just adding the middle one first. I'm going to use my T-square ruler just to make sure the very first one goes on nice and straight. And that would mean the other ones will as well. Using that center line again, I'm adding the first one, then I'll add 2 on either side. So you can see I did not distress the yellow. I just felt it would have been too much. So I'm just going to add those directly on there. And I'm loving how this background is coming together already. So guys, if you want to play along with us this month, be sure to check out my Facebook group down below. I'll add the link, and you can add your layouts there, and we can take a look at your what you come up with these 5 items we're using today. Also, if you add it on Instagram, be sure to tag us using this hashtag Scrap5. So I'm just going to trim down my photo. You can see there's a lot of white surrounding that photo, and that is using a filter on the Snapchat app. So I removed a bit of the white, and now I want to mat it in black. So I'm just going through my huge envelope here. It's a 12 by 12 envelope, and I save all of my white and black and white scraps there because those are my most used. So I keep that really close to my desk. So when I need to go ahead and mat a photo or do anything else using these cardstocks, it's right there, really handy in that envelope. And guys, I will go ahead and link everything I used today in my description box. So I'm gonna go ahead and just trim this up using my scissors. It was a bit too wide to go through that small trimmer, and I did not want to pull out the big one again. So now I'm going to use a 1-inch punch to punch out one of the items on our list, which is to use a number as part of our title. I also grabbed a 1¼ inch circle punch. I'm going to punch out another circle here to use as a backing behind that number, just to make it stand out a little bit more. I didn't want to use a very large number, but I also needed this to stand out a bit more than seeing that it's so small. So I'm going to use what's left on my little dauber there and ink up the edge of that red pattern paper, which is the same one I use for the background, for the base. And that's where I'm going to add my number. So here I grabbed also from Vicki Boutin. This is from one of her newer collections, this Puffy Stickers set, and I love her Puffy Stickers word phrases. There's so many different ones to choose from. Really, really awesome phrases. So I'm gonna go ahead and use just one of these today as part of my title. So now I'm going through my word phrases here in a little drawer I have on my desk, and pulling out parts of my title that I'm gonna add here. I need the word you and I need the word love, and I'm just pulling out different versions of these just to figure out which ones I want to use. Excuse me. And I also dug into my wooden pieces, and I saw a few different love word, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab those. And I needed the letter I as part of my title, and I was lucky enough to find just one I in there. So here you can see me using a combination of acrylic, wooden, and puffy stickers here. I am using my art glitter glue to adhere these pieces, these wooden pieces down, as well as the acrylic piece. It will definitely hold it in place. And I'm going to add those. So my title says 5 things I love, love, love about you. So I do need to add in the word about, and I pulled out these little small alphas here, and I decided on this one here because it's matte. There was another black and white, but it was glossy, and I think this looked a lot better with the shade of black that's on those pattern papers there. So I added in the word about, and here we have you. And I love this long title. I don't do it very often, but I really love when I do long titles because it takes up a lot of space on my layout, which helps me with embellishment, which is where I have a lot of difficulties embellishing my layouts. I do keep it minimal, definitely keep it minimal as well, but I love using long titles because it helps fill up the space. So I'm just adding some foam adhesive behind the number 5, so it's lifted off, and adding a tiny bit of dimension on my layout. And I'm gonna go through Vicki Boutin once again, her Christmas collection from last year, from 2021. And she had these huge hearts here, these chipboard pieces, and you can see me pulling some out. I'm gonna try to use those on my layout, and I'm pulling out some other pieces as well that I think might be able to fit here, to work here on my project. And guys, the layout right now is using all Christmas themed items. It does not look Christmas themed at all. I really love how this turned out. So I'm gonna go through these here, and next up I also pulled in, these are her die cut pieces from her newest collection that I did a haul on here on my channel. Be sure to check out that video. And I'm gonna pull out a few pieces from this collection as well. And this is where I get my journaling spot. I am gonna go ahead and cut it apart because it has the phrase on there that says a wish list, and I did not want that on there. So I'll show you coming up next. I am just gonna go ahead and cut it apart and piece it back together so that way it works for my layout. I love the notebook punch on the top. I actually have a notebook punch. I cannot find it anywhere. And I love the look of it on this card, on this journaling spot here. So here I wanted to move over the word love, and actually I ended up just putting it back exactly where it was, but I slid my photo underneath the word love instead. I'm just adding that back onto my layout, and I believe now I'm going to add my journaling spot. I also want the top of this tag, and I do add some twine to it and added that onto the background. And I went ahead and grabbed the red hearts from that chipboard pack, and I'm going to add those 3 hearts. And I'm going to add just about, I believe, 2 word phrases on this heart. It says, "Do you see what I see?" And the second one says, "Be true to yourself." Now I do need to go back in and add my journaling, which will be 5 things I love about my grandson, Jaden. That is a photo of myself and Jaden. So now I know I needed something a little bit more. Like I said, I always keep my embellishing really minimal, but I felt it needed something else. And my go-to always is splatters. So I'm using some black India ink right now with my small fan brush. And you can see I'm just tapping it with my finger. If you use like maybe a pencil to tap it, I feel the vibration causes the splatters to go everywhere. And they're going to be really, really tiny splatters. And I wanted some larger, some a little smaller, but tapping it with my finger definitely works. You also want to make sure you cover your photo because you don't want to get black ink on your photo. So I just picked up my cover there just to make sure I like how it's looking, see where else I might need some. I'm just going to finish up with those splatters. And for a final touch, I grabbed that Puffy sticker pack once again and grabbed some of the gold little dots from there and just added a few of those to my clusters. So guys, tell me what you think about this layout. It looks pretty close to the overall design is definitely like the sketch, but with my little takes on and my little changes that makes it my own. I really love how this turned out. Don't forget, check out my description box, lots and lots of information down there. And I hope you guys were inspired today to maybe go ahead and stress some pattern paper, some paper to add to your layouts, or maybe do a very long title on your layout. And how about using a themed collection to do a layout that's not the theme it was intended for. Hope you guys got lots of inspiration from this video. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up before you leave. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I always ask that you take a look around. If you like what you see, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you'll know once I upload new videos. I want to thank you all for watching today, and until my next video, bye.